Well, I didn't have the clutch all the way turned in, and then I had to kind of do it midstream, but you can see that even in spite of that, going through 4 layers of genuine cowhide, that zigzag, we pulled it off. A little bit awkward, but you know what? When you're playing march music like that, there's a little bit of forgiveness in the air. So you're not losing your mind in the least. Now I should probably switch that back to a straight stitch. You're not losing your mind at all. You're actually seeing 2 PFAFF or PFAFF 130s side by side. And again, what we've sewn off on the 2 of these machines is a very, very tiny straight stitch on the first one. I would say close to about 15 to 20 stitches per inch. And on the second one, a zigzag once we got the clutch engaged. So why in heaven's name do we have 2 PFAFF or PFAFF 130s side by side? The simple answer is, I have no idea. No. The simple answer is, Jan from Appleton, Wisconsin brought me a very sick PFAFF or PFAFF 130 approaching about 8 to 10 months ago. Depending on how you break the time out, it's probably been close to a year ago. And the challenge that we had was parts. Her machine needed a number of different parts. Her sister tried to tinker on it a little bit, and I don't know if that made it better or worse, but the end result was that the machine just needed a lot of attention. And so I have her machine on the workbench, and I have my machine on the workbench. I'm not going to tell you which is which, but I can tell you that both of them have been touched by me at this point, so they are ready to get the job done, as evidenced by the one on the left doing a straight stitch that was teeny tiny through 4 layers of leather, and then the one on the right that did a zigzag through the leather once I got the clutch fully engaged. We're going to do some other sew-offs as well, and considering that this is the 4th of July week/weekend, I'm probably going to play some more march music. So I'm going to go back to this PFAFF or PFAFF 130 machine number 1, and we're going to do some commercial grade vinyl now. So let me zoom in on that presser foot, and we'll see if we can get that job done. But I've got to find some march music first before we do that. Let's see, what do we have? We got a lot of choices here. Let's see, this is called Brooks Triumphal March. Then again, St. Patrick's looks like another tempting one, but we'll do, actually let's do Brooks Triumphal March. Let's see how far that gets us. All right. Let me put this leather to the side, and now we're going to try to do multiple layers of this commercial grade vinyl. I've got 2 starting. Go ahead and fold it again, getting us up to 3, up to 4, up to 5, and last but certainly not least, up to 6. No, you're not losing your mind. I probably am. So let me see if I can even fit this underneath the presser foot. I didn't try that before taking on this challenge, and I probably should have. All right, so 6 layers of commercial grade vinyl. I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's see. And both of these machines are set up to go into a table, which is why you're seeing the foot controls on top of my workbench, by the way. Gorgeous stitch through 6 layers of commercial grade vinyl. The lock stitch looks just as spectacular. No surprise, right? I mean, after all, we have a march going right now. It's got to happen. All right, let me jump over to the other PFAFF or PFAFF 130. Let's try to duplicate the same result. Once I get that leather out of the way. Come on, camera. This is a march, my friend. All right. So there's 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, and finally 6 layers. What do you think of that? All right, let me put it underneath the presser foot and get some more music going. I'm going to kind of crunch that down a little bit so I can fit it underneath that presser foot. It is a snug fit, folks. It really is. All right. And I'm actually going to do a straight stitch this time, just to mix it up and keep it real. All right, what else do we have here? How about Ceremonial Medley? I don't think I played that yet. Oh, maybe I have in a past video. All right, so here we go. 6 layers of commercial grade vinyl on PFAFF or PFAFF 130 machine number 2. Here we go. Probably not the straightest line that I've ever sewn, but oh well. And there's our stitch right there. Absolutely spectacular. Both the top and the lock. So we're going to keep it moving, folks. Again, that's, excuse me, that's 6 layers of commercial grade vinyl. All right, so our next and final task, and we're going to go back to the original PFAFF 130, which is machine number 1. We're going to do somewhere around 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. Come on, buddy. All right, we're starting with 2. Going to fold it in half. That gets us to 4. Folding it again gets us to 8. Perfect timing for the United States Navy song. All right, 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. This should almost be U.S. Army, or excuse me, U.S. Navy grade canvas, but it's not. All right, here we go. If you don't, that thing runs ridiculously smooth. And now the United States Marine Corps. I'm loving this. Lock and the top stitch look absolutely spectacular. I'm going to increase the tension, upper tension, just ever so slightly because I'm seeing that that lock stitch is not as defined as I want it. But you know what? We just sewed the equivalent of a telephone book. 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. Crazy. Hoorah! All right, let me set this to the side. We'll go back to the PFAFF 130 machine number 2. And any of you that don't have a clue what hoorah means, that's the Marine Corps battle cry. And rest assured, the only crying would be, excuse me, the enemy that's confronting those Marines. All right, 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas on PFAFF or PFAFF 130 machine number 2. I'm hoping I can do this. Let's see. Let's do it like this. There's 2 layers. There's 4 layers. Am I going to be able to fold that again? Ooh, yikes. The shortfalls of live premieres. Good Lord. All right, this is going to be awkward, but oh well. Not the first time, right? So 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. Here we go, folks. Oh yeah. I'm loving this green thread, whatever that would be, almost a turquoise green against the U.S. Army grade material. Again, on that lock stitch, I'm going to increase that upper tension off camera just slightly to make that more defined. But that definitely is a beautiful top stitch. And with that slight adjustment, that lock stitch is going to be much, much more defined. All right. So, we have gone through, let me see if I can get my thread back in place. We have gone through first sew off with, I'm going to line these up here. And I didn't clip any of my thread ends. What in heaven's name? What is it, a holiday? Give me a second here. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's forgivable. I'm over by machine 1 doing the same thing to the leather, the 4 layers of leather that I sewed first on that machine. So give me just a second here, folks. All right, then we did commercial grade vinyl, 6 layers. Come on. Anybody wants to buy me a new pair of clips for my birthday, I will thank you on camera because mine are starting to reach the end of their life. Okay, I'm not going to cut any more of the thread tails. You're patiently waiting on the other end saying, okay, all we can see is a presser foot. All right. Okay. So once again, zooming all the way out, on the far left we have machine number 1. The PFAFF or PFAFF 130. The first sew off that we did, as you can see from the end, is 4 layers of genuine cowhide, and I set that stitch way down, and you can see the stitch is absolutely spot on. And again, look at from the side what we went through. We then did 6 layers of commercial grade vinyl. Again, the stitch is absolutely spot on. I may have flipped that the wrong way. That may be the lock stitch, but at any rate, it's one of the stitches. Then we did 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas, and you can see again, just a spot on stitch, absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And again, look at what we went through. If you think that's easy, try it on your machine. Now going over to machine number 2 of our 2 PFAFF or PFAFF 130s on the workbench. We started on this one over here, Scott. 4 layers of genuine cowhide. And again, once I got the clutch all the way engaged, we zipped through that doing a zigzag. Okay? And both the top stitch and the lock stitch were absolutely fantastic. Now here you really get kind of a glimpse of those 6 layers of commercial grade vinyl. Nuts, right? And we zipped down that as well and laid down an absolutely spectacular stitch. I've got to pause there for a second. Look at that, what we went through. Again, anyone that wants to try that on their PFAFF or PFAFF 130, send me a video. Would love to see it, really. Delivering a stitch of that caliber, of that quality through 6 layers of commercial grade vinyl, I will clap for you. And then we went over to our U.S. Army grade canvas, and we delivered an absolutely spectacular stitch on that U.S. Army grade canvas as well. And again, how many layers? Yep, 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. And then last but certainly not least, we didn't do any other sew-offs. All right, Scott. More coffee, buddy, more coffee. So here you've got 2 amazing PFAFF or PFAFF 130s, one of which happens to be Jan's. And I'm still not going to tell you, but I can tell you that the other one, which I will wire up so that the foot control can be on the ground rather than as if it's going back into a table, will be for sale. So if you're looking for an incredibly muscular PFAFF or PFAFF 130 that can do 4 layers of leather like it's a blink, 6 layers of commercial grade vinyl, 8 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas, and the list goes on, then you'll definitely want to reach out and say, hey, that PFAFF or PFAFF 130 that you showed with Jan's, I want to buy it. Because that's the kind of machine, hardcore, heavy duty, that I'm looking to have in my sewing room, at home, or in my business. Because whatever you put underneath the presser foot of either one of these PFAFF or PFAFF 130s, it's going to get the job done. They have power in reserve and love sewing heavy duty. So reach out, let me know. Hope you had a fabulous 4th of July weekend, or week as it is, and or both. Why not both? And plus we just had Canada Day as well. So enjoy your holiday, whether you're to the north or somewhere in the U.S., and watch for more great videos like this. God bless you guys, and thanks so much for being faithful followers and faithful subscribers on my YouTube channel. All right? I'm signing off. Or, auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.